Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the 8th annual Super Smash TV tournament here on GG Speedruns. Tonight, we have got a doubleheader with our first match, starting with a past Super Smash TV champion, Darklordgonzo, taking on ETGoHAM in an elimination match. Whoever wins this match will take on Joey Mittens in the third round of the second chance bracket. The loser will be out of the game. I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23, calling all the exciting action for tonight's contests here. We've got Darklordgonzo, we've got ETGoHAM, and here's how these last matches rolled for both of our runners. So for ETGoHAM, was sent down early into that second chance bracket, took down Yuriko 3-1. Darklordgonzo, again, a past champion, made it to the second round, took on Telio1, and dropped in straight games 3-0. That is how these two runners got to the position that they are currently in right now. You look at their PB times, you've got ETGoHAM with a 5:45, Darklordgonzo with a 5:53. So very close, comparable times here for both of our runners. So looks like both of these runners are ready to go. I'm going to get these runners counted down. All right, game number one should be getting started very, very shortly between these two runners here. Darklordgonzo on the left, ETGoHAM on the right. All right, so here we go. Game number one, Darklordgonzo, ETGoHAM. This is a best of 5 series, so it takes 3 games to win the match and advance to the next round of our second chance bracket. So both of these runners have their razor shield manipulations. Luke there near the middle for ETGoHAM will wisely ignore it. Darklordgonzo burning through that razor shield quite quickly, though. It is going to be Darklordgonzo with the hole shot by about a second, so a good start here for one of our past champions with a low 40. It'll be a low 41 for ETGoHAM, so about a second lead for Darklordgonzo going into collect power-ups. So collect power-ups, you're looking for rockets, you're looking for spreaders, you're looking for the all-important orb, which will enable you to fire double the projectiles, and you want to have that orb as soon as possible. Darklordgonzo getting some vitamin R, so the weapon's definitely favoring Darklordgonzo early, but here's some vitamin R now for ETGoHAM. With good, efficient firing, you can get through most of this clip, if not all of this clip, taking down all of the foot soldiers, and that's exactly what ETGoHAM does. It is still a lead for Darklordgonzo. It's only 2 seconds, but neither player has the orb yet. Until now, Darklordgonzo gets the first orb of this match. And ETGoHAM going to use that invulnerability to get rid of the shrapnels. 18 of the Mr. Shrapnels that we have to take out in Eat My Shrapnel, but no more than 4 can be on a screen at any given point. And once that happens, that's when you start to bleed time. Ideally, you want to be out of this room in 42.5 seconds. These rockets will definitely help out ETGoHAM because he is still orbless, but Darklordgonzo taking a death in Eat My Shrapnel, losing the orb and losing control of the room. So a chance here for ETGoHAM, should have the lead and does. 208 versus a 209. It's a 1 second advantage, but no player has an orb starting total carnage. Spreader there for ETGoHAM. The weapons are at least going to keep him afloat, but it's Darklordgonzo who needs to get some good weapons here. These grenades not really going to cut it, and then a key as ETGoHAM gets an orb on the feet. Things looking good again for ETGoHAM, but Darklordgonzo finds a replacement orb. Dangerous spot, was able to pick it up. Rockets for ETGoHAM, so going to keep the kill count high here. Both these runners keep control of the middle of the room. That's what you want to see to maximize the kill count. Nuke for Darklordgonzo to give him a little bit of a breather, but I would imagine that ETGoHAM is going to come out of this room with the lead. Spreader there for ET could be enough to finish off the room. A very late Razor Shield for Darklordgonzo. Another spreader for ET, going to try to hold out as long as possible, and does so. Will have 2/3 of a clip to take with him into tank trouble and a 3:09 time. Darklordgonzo still not out of this room yet, is just finished off the last of the foot soldiers, and is going to find himself 9 seconds back. Advantage ET, because not only does he have that 9-second lead, he's got 2/3 of a clip of spreader to start tank trouble. So the opening drop for Darklordgonzo is going to be critical here to see if he can get back into this game. Ooh, Rockets, a big opener there for ETGoHAM. There goes both of the gunners. So Darklordgonzo going to need something good here. A foot is not something good. It's in a bad spot to boot, so big time advantage for ET, but does drop the orb. Darklord trying to do his best. Both gunners are done, but unfortunately gets his orb clipped by the green shirt. Bad luck there. ET has got a spreader, so at least we'll be able to keep the damage going somewhat. A Razor Shield for Darklordgonzo, but ETGoHAM gets a replacement orb. Dangerous grab of those rockets. They were at the door. The foot soldiers were waiting to take it away from him, but ETGoHAM having none of it and will have a chance at the ball buster, and a 4:23 going in the Mutoid Man fight. That lead is going to be growing as Darklordgonzo has got no weapons to complement that Razor Shield, which has just melted away and then takes a death. ETGoHAM going to, gets shot down by the gunners, loses out on the ballbuster opportunity, and loses out on those lobbers as well. A rough start, and that's pretty much going to wipe out the lead, and then gets zapped. So here comes Darklordgonzo with a little bit of spreader, and he is right in this race. Just has a little bit of spreader. Will use it to take care of the swarmer, and now has some spreader to get a good opener, but gets sabotaged by the lobbers. Lobbers for ET as well. So Darklord getting a little bit sabotaged there as he was trying to get the opener where Mutoid Man doesn't vibrate, and the first arm pops off for ET. Now he's got grenades. Where's the weapon for Darklordgonzo? Whatever it was, Troll Toy Man, Mother Hen on it, but they both have lobbers now, but advantage ET. As the second arm now pops off a spreader, but that's in a player 2 spot. Can't die for that, and immediately gets run over. No chance to get that manual damage as the first arm pops off for Darklordgonzo. Now they both have lobbers again, so it's still a full form lead and change right now, I'd say right now, for ETGoHAM. As the rib cage is now exposed, second arm pops off. So yeah, about a form lead for both runners, but a big time spreader now for ET. Right at the door, player 1 spot, and comes toward him as well. There goes the head. Final form should be coming up. There's final form. I don't know what kind of transfer damage he got, but these lobbers should be enough to finish the job for ETGoHAM. Great drops here. Rockets will definitely do the job if these lobbers don't. And he will use the rockets for more efficient firing. Down goes Mutoid Man, and ETGoHAM will take first blood here in this best-of-5 match, right as the head pops off for Darklordgonzo. So game number 1 goes to ETGoHAM, a time of about 6:36. A very solid opener there. Final form now for Darklordgonzo. Gonna just wrap this one up. Lobber probably is going to need one more weapon the way that Mutoid Man is moving about here, and gets run over again. So unfortunately, Trolltoid's final form doing final form things. Grenades now. Not sure if this is going to be enough to finish off the fight. We'll see. It is enough to finish off the fight. It'll be about a 7-18 for Darklordgonzo. So a 42-second victory for ETGoHAM in game number 1. All right, ETGoHAM up 1-0 here in this best-of-5 showdown. Of course, it takes 3 games to win this match. So both runners had trouble with tank trouble. Neither player had a crisp arena, but ET definitely had the better luck with the Mutoid Man drops. And at least late. I mean, early on, ETGoHAM got absolutely hosed. Probably lost a good 30 seconds doing no damage as he entered the room. But once the bad exited out of that room, all the good started flowing for ET. The runners are ready to go, so I'm going to get them counted down. All right, both of these runners are ready here. Game number 2 coming up shortly between Darklordgonzo and ETGoHAM. The 4th annual champion, Darklordgonzo, trying to equalize this match here. ETGoHAM looking to go up 2 games to nothing. So we are underway as they both have their razor shield in the proper spot. Foot and an invulnerability. Both runners will probably be ignoring those drops. There's a nuke possibility here for ETGoHAM, but is going to ignore the nuke, and it is going to be a slight favor for ETGoHAM. He's got a mid-39 versus a low 40, about a half a second lead for ETGoHAM, a negligible lead, as my commentator partner Ferran Burgundy would say. Vulnerability to start for ET. Darklordgonzo gets a nuke. Just going to ignore it. Razor shield now for ET. Grenades. Looking for that orb. He is fishing for one. Just grabbing everything he can get his hands on to buy a better drop. Vitamin R now for Darklordgonzo. Enough to end the room for Gonzo if the firing is good. It looks like he's gotten the job done. It's going to be a 124 for ET, a 126 for Darklordgonzo, about a 2-second lead. No orb, though, once again starting this room. But here's an orb for Darklordgonzo. He's got to take care of the swirl, which he does. Oh, and ET gets picked off by the shrapnel there. And that is going to be a time penalty. So right now, Darklordgonzo with a chance to take the lead here. He can keep that orb healthy. Razor shield for ET. Soldiers are still coming on Gonzo's side. So not really keeping the kill count high here. Does finally take down the last of the foot soldiers. Shrapnels are done. It's a 2:09, and indeed the lead as a shrapnel goes off on ET's side. He is 4 seconds back and still without an orb. Spreader to start for Darklordgonzo in total carnage. Vulnerability for ET. That time is bleeding, hemorrhaging right now. But Darklordgonzo takes a death, losing his orb. So ET a chance to get back into this one. Both have spreaders now. So again, arena gameplay kind of betraying Darklordgonzo here. ET just not getting an orb until now, and now he has a chance to flip the script and take the lead coming out of this room. The razor shield in tow should be no trouble for ET to have the orb intact going into tank trouble. Another death on Darklordgonzo's side. Things falling apart here in game number 2 for our 4th annual champion. There's a replacement orb, but the damage is done on Darklordgonzo's side as ET finishes off the room here with the 317. Rockets to close the room, and there's the swirl of shame there. But Darklordgonzo is going to have about half a clip of rockets to take with him into tank trouble. Is down by 8 seconds, but that half a clip of rockets should be enough to take out both gunners starting tank trouble. So ET's going to need a good drop here to retain that lead. Let's see if both these runners can have a better tank trouble this time. So the opening drop for ET is a foot, so again, nothing to write home about for him. So he's gonna have to do a lot of bobbing and weaving, have to deal with the gunners. A rocket in a pretty bad spot, able to grab it, but does lose the orb. Both gunners down for Darklordgonzo starting tank trouble, so that's exactly what he wanted. As ET spends the last of his rockets, Darklordgonzo having to go through a lot of these bullets and does give up his orb. There's another replacement orb for Dark Lord, but those purple shirts are getting dangerously close. The spreader should help him out, though. Clear a little of this room, give him a little bit of a path, and able to give himself a chance to keep control of the middle. ET really getting nothing. He's got a foot in invulnerability, which is something when you don't have an orb. It's again getting closed in. There's a replacement orb for ET. A Razor Shield laid for Darklordgonzo. Will he go after it? Doesn't look like he's going to. He does pick it up. Didn't really need to do it, but it's at least a little bit of advantage. 4:45, and Darklordgonzo has cut the lead to 4 seconds. So this is anybody's game, as they both have a chance at the ball buster for the Mutoid Man fight. Spreader, and yeah, ET's just going to forego it, get this spreader here, and just go to town. But he missed it. He didn't get to the spreader in time. He missed it by frames. Oh, no. Darklordgonzo does get the ball buster, so an opportunity here for Darklordgonzo, but he didn't grab the lobber, but he's gonna get this spreader. So he's got the lead as the first arm pops off. Another spreader for Darklord. Will he get to her, or a Mutoid Man block him? He will get to it. Another spreader get for Darklordgonzo as he's gonna further that lead, that ribcage, but no. No, does not get to the ribcage yet. So the lead is less than a form right now. And here's a spreader chance for ET. There's the ribcage exposed. There is the spreader now for ET. Should take the lead on this one. But he's sabotaged with a grenade. Oh, the sabotages have been real, and Darklordgonzo won't be able to get to those lobbers. But ET has taken the lead in this fight. Very close, though. Now the weapon advantage shifts back to Darklordgonzo. ET has a lobber waiting for him. There's a spreader chance for Darklordgonzo. Could be enough to finish the job. A player 2 spreader for ETGoHAM. Darklordgonzo does get to it. Final form. What's the transfer damage? Final form for ET, but he's run over. Darklordgonzo trying to finish the job, and will do so indeed. So Darklordgonzo equalizes this best-of-5 match. So GG to Darklordgonzo, who takes game number 2 and ties up this match. The time is a 6:43. ET's time a 6:53, less than 10 seconds difference. So a good timely spreader there for Darklordgonzo, enabling him to come from behind and take game number 2. So what was a best-of-5 is now a best-of-3 match. All right, both runners are ready to go. I'm going to get these runners turned loose for game number 3. All right, here we go. Game number 3, a pivotal game number 3 for both of these runners. Whoever wins this game will have 2 opportunities to take to match. All right, both runners are in sync, so here we go. Game number 3, they both have their Razor Shield manipulations. Should be no trouble for either runner, but Darklordgonzo grabbing the invulnerability, an interesting strategy. There's a nuke. Oh, nuke on the feet, and that was too soon for Darklordgonzo, so that's going to be a time penalty. But despite that, it is still even coming out of this room. They're dead even, going in to collect power-ups. Crazy how that worked out. Opening drop for both runners here to collect power-ups. And first drop orb for Darklordgonzo. Rockets for ET, but he almost lost it right there. Nearly got clubbed down by the green shirt. Spreader now for ET. Gonzo not getting anything to complement the orb, though, and there's an orb on the feet for ET. This should be close, but yes, indeed, it is going to be very close. But it will be a slight lead for ETGoHAM, about a half a second going into Eat My Shrapnel. Well, Darklordgonzo almost got too close to the exploding swirl there, and that nearly cost him. Rockets for ET should help him take care of the foot soldiers, take care of the coming up Mr. Shrapnels. Now has a spreader refill. And knowing that all the foot soldiers are down is just going to burn that razor shield that he just collected on one of the Mr. Shrapnels, and will use the grenades to finish off any that are left in the room. And it is going to be a 205 and a 207. Yeah, ET had a much cleaner ending. Was able to get the last one quicker than Darklordgonzo did. Has built a 1.5 second lead now. Razor shield to start the room, though, for Darklordgonzo. There's a spreader for ET. Both runners have control of the middle, but Darklord with the razor shield should be able to keep control of it for most, if not all, of the room, depending on how he utilizes that shield. Drops are definitely important. Both runners can ignore that key. With efficient firing, you don't really need weapons to carry you. They're nice, obviously, to expedite the room, but they're not essential. Darklordgonzo burning that shield late in this room here. Let's see if he can hold on to the lead, or at least hold on to keeping consistent here with ET. I mean, you would think he might have the lead just because he had the razor shield, but it is still going to be ETGoHAM. But he does lose the orb, and it's back to a 1/2 second lead for ET. But more importantly, he has no orb to start tank trouble. Didn't see it on ET's side, but got a little bit careless at the end of that room and gives up his orb. So Darklordgonzo, down by just 1/2 second, will have an opportunity with the orb here. But if he can get a really good opening drop, could take a big lead with him into the Mutoid Man fight. But rockets to start for ET, spreader for Darklordgonzo, not bad. Can get one of the gunners off. Now he's getting overwhelmed. ET getting a refill on the rockets, though, and Darklordgonzo takes a death. So now the advantage with all of these vitamin Rs to ETGoHAM. Vulnerability now as the rockets run dry. There's a dude for Darklordgonzo, so getting the TTTT after taking that death, trying to get that second gunner down, has not gotten a weapon since. Replacement orb for Gonzo. We'll see if he can gain some time back with that. And the power of the rockets is going to enable ETGoHAM to have the lead, despite that he never got a replacement orb, as Darklordgonzo loses his replacement orb. It's a 438, and he takes a death as well. As the shrapnels go off, it's a 445, a 7 second lead for ET going into the Mutoid Man fight. Not the times these runners would want to have, but it is anybody's game. A lobber's a great start for ET. Lobber to start for Darklordgonzo as well. A refill, but not in a good spot, so he's probably going to ignore it. Rockets for ET, so the drops not being great so far, and then a key, that's definitely not going to help. Another lobber now for Gonzo. As the first arm pops off. First arm pops off for Darklordgonzo as well. So we're seeing the old school strats fly on both runners. More rockets. So again, now an empty drop for Gonzo as it's a key. There's a spreader and a good player two spot, and we'll try to get some in. He's got a few shots in there, got a few more. Does finally get vibrated with 2/3 of a clip left, so still anybody's game as Darklordgonzo riding the lobber train. There's some lobbers for ET. And Darklordgonzo has taken a small lead on ET. The old school strat's working out for Darklordgonzo up to this point. Could come down to who can get a very timely spreader as ET gets zapped. Should get to this lobber, and does. But more lobbers for Darklordgonzo with the consistent damage, but they're pretty much neck and neck as they're both at the penultimate form. The weapon advantage, neither player because they're both out, and it's grenades for both. Final form for both. Oh my goodness gracious, but there's an empty drop for both. Are you kidding me? ET does get some grenades though. Darklord looking for a better drop. The good DPS there. He'll need another grenade. This grenade could do it for ETGoHAM. We'll see. And Darklordgonzo gets lobbers, but it's too late. ETGoHAM wins a back and forth affair, coming down to the last form of Mutoid Man, and it's ETGoHAM who's on double match point. We'll have a time of 6 minutes and 53 seconds. Darklordgonzo right there. So the final form, they were dead even going to it, but the empty drops dooming Darklordgonzo, and it'll be a 11-second victory for ET. 2-1 in favor of ETGoHAM. So ETGoHAM just one win away from advancing to the next round and a date with Joey Mittens. So Darklordgonzo, our 4th annual champ, gonna have to dig deep and find a way to bring it back here.
Good luck.
I'll get both of these runners counted down. Okie dokie, both of these runners are counted down, so we're going to get Game 4 started very shortly, and here we go. Game number 4 between Darklordgonzo and ETGoHAM. If ETGoHAM wins this, he wins the match and advances to the next round against Joey Mittens. All right, they both have their Razor Shield. Darklordgonzo parking at the right side. ETGoHAM staying in the middle. Now Darklordgonzo heads back to the middle. There's a nuke. Let's see if ET can time this. It'll be hard to tell by the score indicator because of the prizes he picked up, but that was a good time nuke right there, and he will have the hole shot. A significant one at that. So it'll be a low 40 for ET. Darklordgonzo with a upper 43, so it's about a 3 3/4 second lead for ETGoHAM, again on double match point. Wouldn't drop for ET's a foot, nothing to write home about. Let's see what Darklordgonzo gets. It's an invulnerability, so right now some garbage and collect powers for both. Here's the rockets for ET. The nuke will clean up the room for ET. Serve on those rockets. Another foot for Darklordgonzo, so he's getting hosed by these drops here and collect powers. There's a nuke. These drops have been something else for Darklordgonzo, and I'm not talking about the good kind of something else right now, as ET almost gets clubbed down by the purple shirt. Drops have dried up now on ET's side too, but he is going to have the lead. Not much though. It's a 131. Darklordgonzo has gained about a 1.25 seconds, knocking it down to a 2.5 second lead. Neither player has an ore. He's got to watch out for the shrapnel. They are exploding quickly on ET's side, but these rockets should help him. He's going to hold out as long as possible. I like the strategy here, especially when you don't have an ore. protect ET. There's a Razor Shield for Dark Lord, but neither player has saw an orb yet here in game number 4. Grenades on the feet there for ET will at least be able to take out some of the Mr. Shrapnels. A late Razor Shield. Didn't need it though, it's a 215, but that lead has grown just because of the poor weapon quality for Darklordgonzo. It's a 221, a high 221, so he's about 6 3/4 seconds back. And the opening drop in total carnage for both is an orb. Keeping this orb healthy is going to be paramount, and ET not able to do so. He drops it immediately, but Darklordgonzo, picked off by a shrapnel, loses his rockets and the orb. A big lost opportunity for our 4th annual champ. And ET gets a replacement orb. So things looking real good now for ET in game number 4. Rockets for Darklordgonzo will keep him afloat, but the longer it takes for him to get that replacement orb, it should easily be a double-digit lead for ETGoHAM. Have to do a lot of dodging, and the drops have definitely dried on Gonzo's side. Spreader on the feet for ET, and vulnerability for Darklordgonzo. These drops just aren't doing it for Darklordgonzo. I mean, he had that opportunity. That shrapnel, though, could be the shrapnel that sends him packing. The room is done for ET. He's got a 324. I would imagine we're going to see another swirl of shame on Darklordgonzo's side. Just had a lot of empty drops after dropping that orb, and sure enough, there you go. All right, so the room is over for Darklordgonzo, but he's 22 seconds back. Things looking bleak right now for Darklordgonzo. ET gets a dude to start tank trouble, so nothing to write home about. Gonna have to do a lot of movement, and he does get his orb clipped by the swarmers. Nuke should be able to take out one of the gunners. Does some damage to the second one, but it's still on the play field, but this invulnerability should help him out. Foot for Darklordgonzo. He's just been absolutely destroyed, and then runs into the mine right there. Yikes. This has been a tough run for Darklordgonzo here in game number 4. Ever since getting clipped by the shrapnel when he had rockets and an orb, it's all gone south for him. Razor Shield for ET. Followed that up with some Vitamin R, so things looking pretty good here for ET. That lead should grow some more. More rockets as well. Use as much of that clip, and look at that, he's got a full clip of rockets to start the Mutoid Man fight. So 447, not a glamorous time going into this room, but it's going to be more than enough to build himself a healthy lead. Use the rockets to take care of the gunners, an empty drop to start, so just use the rockets, deal the damage, and he'll have some grenades. And then these drops have just been horrendous for Darklordgonzo. It is 30 seconds and counting right now. He is still not done with tank trouble. Back-to-back lobbers now. There's an orb. How did he... Well, he was able to keep it for a moment. I thought he was going to lose it immediately after picking that up. But this lead is absolutely absurd for ETGoHAM. It's 51 seconds. ET only has one arm popped off, so Darklordgonzo still has a shot. There goes the second arm. But ET, or Darklord, is going to need a spreader, and he's going to need it pretty quick. Grenades will be enough to take care of, well, it would have been enough, and somehow was able to clip the swirl with the lobber. Was a little bit too fast on the grenade pickup, and that's why he got that. Here's a spreader chance, but he could be blocked. Goes away from him, so he will get the spreader. So ET can do some serious damage with it. Gets the head popped off. Nice manuals there to get to final form. Runs out of the spreader, though. He's going to need another weapon. There's a spreader. Probably he's going to need one more weapon to finish the job. These rockets, you would think, oh, but he gets run over and then parks on the rockets. So ET is stopped for the time being. We'll be able to get to these lobbers. This should do it for ET, and it will. So game number 4 and the match goes to ETGoHAM. He will advance to the next round to take on Joey Mittens, and Darklordgonzo, our 4th annual champion, is eliminated. right, so Darklordgonzo just trying to finish the job here. Just been an absolute catastrophe. Just everything went south for him in Total Carnage. He was sitting pretty with the orb and a full clip of rockets in hand, but then got picked off by the shrapnel and was never able to recover after that. Just an absolute nightmare of a game there for Darklordgonzo. Does get a spreader here, which could be enough to finish the job. Final form. Don't think he got transfer damage, so he's going to need another weapon. The spreader could be enough to finish the job. We'll see. And it is enough. So Darklordgonzo finishes off Mutoid Man, but it is the end of the tournament for Darklordgonzo. It is ETGoHAM who wins this match 3-1, and will play Joey Mittens in the next round.